We have seen Black culture, specifically HBCU culture, just explode in the last 5-7 years.
Yeah.
Beyonce with Homecoming, the young entrepreneurs who are striking up deals for our swag.
Every teacher that I revered in my high school went to an HBCU. Okay. It was Virginia State, it was Norfolk State. My high school band teacher went to Norfolk State. When I came to Bowie, I met musicians and people who were actually living and working as musicians. That changed my whole perspective about what I was able to do.
I cannot go through college, my college career, and not have been to an HBCU. You know, my mom is an HBCU graduate from Norfolk State University. I was like, I couldn't do that. I could not do that.
What I would tell the student who is going there, I would tell them to keep their minds open and keep their hearts open to who's sitting to the left of them and who's sitting to the right of them. For you will be opening doors for them, and they'll be opening doors for you going forward.
I'm a Black woman who's proud to work with another Black woman, but I first saw that by attending an HBCU.
People come from different ways of life, and we grow up around a certain, type of people in high school, but it's just good to expand your wings. So definitely that. Also, well, say, the bands and the homecomings and things like that. I think that's just a really nice experience that you're not going to get anywhere else.
We have a lot of bands to thank, but I think that Dr. Foster from FAMU did a lot of that back in the day. There are a lot of bands that were on this corps style, that, military style marching, and he wanted to fold in popular music and dancing and pageantry, from military corps style to high step. Yes. 8 to 5, 8 steps every 5 yards. Yeah. I loved it, and that's what we're all coming to see as, a standard. There's so many composers that created a pipeline through churches and HBCUs. Yes. That was where they were known. Other publishing companies and all these people will look for these fantastic, great choirs from these HBCUs.
Shy has one of the biggest songs in the entire world that year while they're standing on campus. They got yanked out of campus. They had to finish an album. The album went to sell millions of copies. But that changed a lot of us. Watching that and knowing them and seeing that, we're not just writing songs so we can be the best singer or best songwriter, best actor here on campus. We need to set our sights bigger, because we saw some like really set their sights bigger and get it, and that was monumental. I think that helped shape a lot of things for me.
I'm going to go ahead and just be transparent and show you a book that was in my house, in my parents' house. Choral Music by Afro-American Composers. Wow. A selected annotation bibliography compiled by Evelyn Davidson White, a Howard woman. She had a chorale that my parents sang in. This book is full of people, and I have the music.
That's amazing.
I mean, Mark Fax, Nathaniel Dett, John Childs. It's so many people.
There's so much that you can learn about inside and outside of class about yourself, your history, your culture, that you would not learn outside of an HBCU.
There are so many of the population who are coming to college for the first time ever, and they're not only there for themselves, they're there for their entire family to say, I have somebody who's in school. My daughter has a degree. My son has a degree, because what that does for them makes the struggle, makes having to have 3 jobs, makes those Parent Plus loans, everything that we have to go through, it makes it worth it, because for so long we were denied that type of education.
All of us had a story, right, about what it took for our parents to get us there, or what the work and the things that our parents didn't have. And it was very few people that took it for granted. The fact that you were on a college campus, and how hard everyone worked, and how you just could not slack if you wanted. And then your professors also taught you that, you are going to have to be better.
The main difference that I noticed, when I came to an HBCU is the family. It's a family. I don't feel like I have to necessarily fend for myself. You don't get that everywhere. That's something special that HBCUs have, is the camaraderie, is the bond.
Any type of class that you're taking, it could be like a business class or music, history, you name it, it's going to be tied in with I would say, the Blackness and like just the richness of Blackness.
When you think about the beginning, Black excellence was already in the area. It's always been in the area. You know what I mean? So that, and I think like you said, you had the Howards, you had the Hamptons, you had the Bowies, the Eastern Shores, the Morgan States. I think it's important for us to really talk about all the schools in our region, and for even students to realize how important it is that I'm always going to go back to network and community. But when we talk about organizations like BET who play music videos, it was centered in the DMV area.
Because of the pipeline of excellence that came out of these schools, BET was able to survive.
Because of that. Thank you.
I went to visit a lot of colleges, not many HBCUs, like just school programs sending me to schools. I had no connection whatsoever to it. But when I came back from that campus, I was a different person. You know, just visiting, I was like, oh, that's it. I came back with a Howard book bag and, you know, I just studied the swag just in a little bit of time I was there that day.
Anyone who's walked across that yard on Howard's campus, no matter if you do it on a daily basis, if you do it on a yearly basis when you're there for homecoming, whatever the frequency of that is, when you're walking across that yard, you cannot help but feel the legacy of those who have come before you.